get some prescription sunglasses, so I'm not being that typical YouTuber wearing sunglasses all the time, but just for road trips and stuff. And today we'll be taking a bit of a road trip. As you guys can see behind us, there might be something missing. And what are we missing? Well, the bed is actually missing. So let's go ahead and cut to a TikTok clip that I kind of put together, and we'll show you what happened. So as you can tell, we're kind of missing our bed. And that is because I actually found a new bed that we're going to go pick up in a town called Siler City, North Carolina. There's a basically it's a junkyard, used auto parts place. They sell truck parts and new parts. And we're going to head out there and go get a new bed. The reason we're going to be going to go get a new bed is because both of my bed sides are rotten. I'll show you some footage of that here. As you guys can see on the driver's side and the passenger side, the supports are all gone. I think 3 out of the 4 bedside supports are gone. They're completely rusted off, and basically I just had some flopping around supports, so I just removed them. So I'm not really sure why the bedsides on my truck have completely gone, like in the support rods, where the support rods mount to the bed itself. They all rusted apart. I really don't know why. I do have a theory. I'm going to show a map right here. Basically, this is a map of all of the service history I have on my truck prior to me owning it. And what I think happened was, I think the previous owner hauled boats, and he put the ass end of my truck into the ocean. That's the only thing I can think of, is like the guy must have had a boat or something, because my truck, it's a North Carolina truck. It never lived up, it's way up north. All the service history that I have is down here in the south. I mean, yes, a lot of it is along the coast, but typically when trucks rust apart, it'll be everywhere. And for me, you know, it was pretty much limited to the bed, the bumper, and the hitch. And as you guys know, we've already replaced the bumper because that thing was shot. And then I replaced the hitch, and now we're finally going to be replacing the bed. So I really don't know the exact history on the truck. I mean, you know, besides it, all the service history being from Chevy and Pontiac and GMC dealerships on the coast. Like I said, I just have this theory that the guy had a boat and must have put it in the ocean, or maybe some of the brackish water of the riverways on the North Carolina coast going into the Atlantic Ocean. That's my theory. I have no reason to prove otherwise. Oh, my truck did have a tuner on it at some point, so I have a feeling maybe he was hauling some heavy boats, heavy trailer or something. But you know, that's it. So, but we are about 2 hours away. Oh, we're like an hour and a half away. So we're going to Siler City. We'll check in there, and we'll pick this up then. All right, guys, we are here at Marsh Auto Parts.
Your destination is on the left.
Thank you, GPS. And yeah, so they will be getting us our bed. Oh man. And they'll be getting us our bed. All right, guys, if you can see in the mirror there, something looks a little different. And also I'm trying to give you a shot. So the guys at Marsh Auto were very helpful. They actually had a front end loader with a bunch of hooks on it. They lowered the bed right down. I thought I was gonna have to take the bumper off. Nope, didn't have to do that, thankfully. And I was there for about 40 minutes, and probably half that time I was just waiting to be helped. There was probably phone calls or whatnot. They probably took 10-15 minutes for them to come out to actually help me, but that's not a bigger deal. I understand shops are busy, so, which is a good thing with the way the world's going. So, but yeah, so we got the bed installed. I put taillights back on it. I don't have a tailgate. That was not part of the deal. And let's head home and we'll show you what we got. All right, guys, so as you can see, we do have a new bed on the back of the truck. And if you can see, there is a little bit of a fender flare on both sides. So, you know, the factory bed is just straight without any flare like that. So a little bit of a wide body. And what this bed is, it's actually off a GMC Sierra Denali or a 2500 HD with Quadrasteer. Because both the 2500 HD Quadrasteer and the Denali both have that rear axle that spins when you turn the wheel. And if you guys didn't know, this bed is actually made out of a composite, a plastic. So if you guys look under here, there's absolutely no rust on this bed at all. I mean, this bed is really clean. Yeah, there's some rusty hardware, but you know, those are bolts. This is all sheet metal, and the sheet metal is all clean. So that's the passenger side. And yes, you guys will see there is a color difference. It's actually not too bad, so I probably could drive around like this for a while, but you know, my truck is this dark spiral gray metallic, and its bedside is obviously a black color. So, and typical with GM clear coat, even the clear coat on this composite bed is starting to fade a little bit, but since it's plastic, it won't rust out. We won't have the problem that we had on the roof or the hood, so not too worried about that. This side is starting to show a little bit of that same clear coat fading issue over that the passenger side has. And the only other thing I really need to set up are the kind of bedside lights. So this light isn't plugged in, this bed light isn't plugged in. And then I learned today that actually the 3500s and 2500s and even the Denalis came with a tailgate brake light, which is basically what goes under here. I found a replacement one on Amazon. Probably gonna order that, and we'll go from there. And another kind of pleasant surprise was this bed is actually Line-X. I think you guys can see that, but right there it obviously says Line-X. So at some point in the past, this has been sprayed with a spray-in bed liner from Line-X. And man, there's all kind of wiring. So we'll have to explore that a little bit. But yeah, so we did get a new set of taillights with this. This is what came on the bed. I don't know if I'm going to keep these or not, but it is an option, and kind of want to just give you guys an overview of the whole truck. So thanks for joining us on this truck adventure. We've kind of done a lot in the last 24 or maybe 30 hours, something like that. We got the bed removed. I took some pictures of that earlier. I did not film any of that because I was really super sketched out with the rusty corners on the bed sides. You guys saw that earlier in the video. So we basically just lifted the bed up, drove the truck from underneath it, and lowered it as fast as I could. I probably did that in 10-15 minutes, lowered it back down, and we're just gonna keep this bed sitting here for a while until I figure out what to do with it. But kind of like the last update I wanted to give was I did need to figure out the wiring for the bedside lights and all that. I actually discovered the junkyard did not cut any of the wiring. I thought that's what they would have, just to get rid of it, but they actually unplugged it from that little light control box that's in the back of these frames. And so hopefully I can just go ahead, unplug mine, plug theirs in, and we should be good to go. Now the taillights, I did kind of fish my wiring through there. I can just pull that back out, put the bed wiring back in there, plug in the taillights, and hopefully everything works. It's kind of my plan on that. So we might do a video on that, we might not, I just don't know. And kind of the very last thing was there's actually, I kind of discovered a third brake light that goes in between the tailgate and the bumper. Wasn't aware that was an option. The Denali, the 2500 and 3500 dualies have a slightly different roll pan, you know, kind of that bottom edge of the bed. And it's actually stamped and drilled out for some holes for the wiring, as well as 2 screw holes for that light. So I'm going to go ahead, order a new one of those, because mine, this new bed didn't have it. It was all smashed up. And I actually checked the sheet metal of the bed behind me, and it doesn't have any of those holes cut out. So it's kind of a little weird that I would have thought GM would have produced that same end of the bed for all of their trucks, but it was different between this short bed and that short bed. So it's just kind of a little weird. So if you guys want to check out that video and more truck updates, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on your bell notifications. And if you guys want to help support the channel, check out the links down below. I'll actually include a link down to Marsh Auto Parts for their website and where I found the truck bed. And make sure you check out our website, BonecrrusherSS.com. And we also just released some Duramax t-shirts and hoodies, so make sure you go check that as well. Thanks, guys. Have a great one.